Sofia Coppola directs first documentary on fashion icon Marc Jacobs, Venice Film Festival 2025. Stop the presses. Sofia Coppola has turned her lens on fashion's resident rulebreaker, Marc Jacobs, and the result is her very first documentary feature. Yes, the Oscar-winning storyteller behind films like Priscilla and Marie Antoinette is stepping into the non-fiction arena with Marc by Sofia, slated to make its grand debut at the Venice Film Festival later this summer. Marc by Sofia will be screened in an out-of-competition slot, meaning it won't be fighting for the festival's coveted Golden Lion, but it will almost certainly command serious attention. The 81st edition of the Venice event runs from August 27 through September 9, 2025. Mark those dates now if you want to witness the fashion film crossover moment of the year. Coppola and Jacobs are no strangers to collaboration. Over the years, the director has fronted multiple Marc Jacobs campaigns, served as the face of his final collection for Louis Vuitton, and even crafted the dreamy commercials for his Daisy fragrance. Now, the tables turn. Jacobs, the designer who once dressed grunge kids in silk and sparked endless debate about what American fashion should look like, steps in front of Coppola's camera as her muse. But here's where it gets controversial. Some critics wonder whether Jacobs, after decades in the spotlight, remains the single most influential designer in the United. Sofia Coppola and Marc Jacobs, the story behind their new documentary Marc by Sofia. This documentary promises an intimate look at one of fashion's most enduring creative partnerships. Sofia Coppola is finally pulling back the curtain on her secret project, a documentary titled Marc by Sofia, set to premiere at next month's Venice Film Festival. The title cleverly nods to Marc Jacobs' discontinued Marc by Marc Jacobs line while signaling a deeply personal portrait by his longtime collaborator. But here's where it gets interesting. Though Coppola's directed iconic films like Lost in Translation and Priscilla, this marks her first foray into documentary filmmaking. And this is the part most people miss. Their bond isn't just professional, it's a two-decade friendship where Coppola served as Jacobs' muse and creative ally. Let me break it down clearly for beginners. Coppola starred in Jacobs' 2002 fragrance campaign, shot by Jürgen Teller, co-designed bags during his Louis Vuitton era, fronted his Fall-Winter 2015 campaign, partnered on his Heaven label, and even directed his Daisy perfume ad. If anyone can capture Jacobs' essence, it's the director who's lived his creative journey beside him. Now, about Marc Jacobs himself. Born in New York City in 1963, he revolutionized fashion early at Parsons by becoming the youngest designer ever awarded the CFDA's Perry Ellis Award. But controversy struck in 1992. His notorious grunge collection for Perry Ellis was so ahead of its time that it got him fired. This moment arguably defined his career. He challenged norms when the industry wasn't ready, a risky move that actually cemented his reputation as a visionary. Later, as Louis Vuitton's creative director, 1997 to 2013, he pioneered high-fashion collaborations, like the iconic Takashi Murakami partnership and the graffiti bag that reshaped luxury branding. He also launched his signature line in 1984 and the youth-driven Heaven collection in 2020. Coppola sums up their connection best, recalling in Faden's Marc Jacobs Illustrated, "We hit it off immediately. He wore worn-out Stan Smiths, loved the same bands, and shared my ironic take on ladylike elegance." This casual, authentic bond fuels the documentary's promise. But let's address the elephant in the room. Was Jacobs firing after the Perry Ellis show a career tragedy or the catalyst that freed him to redefine fashion? Some argue that without that bold, rejected collection, luxury streetwear might never have exploded the way it did later. What do you think? Did the industry's initial rejection ultimately make Jacobs more revolutionary? Drop your take in the comments.